What's going on, my people? It's Bozzy, and you're now tuned in with the Weather Watcher.
And let's ride, and get high. It's alright, it's alright. And let's ride, and get high. It's alright, it's alright.
Weather Watcher, Bozzy, thank you for sitting down with us.
Thank you.
Let's get into it, man. So,
yes, sir.
how you doing personally?
It's been good, man. I'm just super fortunate to honestly be in the position I'm at right now. It's been been trying these past couple seasons, but it is. I'm staying positive. I'm going into the new year strong. So honestly, sweet and simple. I'm doing good. Work's been good. People, music's been great.
For those who don't know, reintroduce yourself and tell people exactly what it is you do.
My name is Bozzy. I'm from Truckee, California. Technically, I guess that's like the home foundations. And I'm an artist. I mix, master, I produce, I shoot videos, I edit my videos. So it's just like a one-stop shop for, all creative outlets, you could say. Sweet and simple.
Let's take it back. Let's catch up real quick. Like, when did you start doing music or anything creative in general?
I've been writing music pretty much my entire life since like 5th grade or so, but I didn't start recording music until like my senior year of high school. So it was like kind of like that process that I got introduced to like actually like recording rap songs. And then after that, it was kind of just like I bought a program on a PC and was just kind of like running that for a little bit. And then it wasn't really until I got like a MacBook and then picked up GarageBand and then graduated to Logic Pro. And that kind of just like opened up the floodgates for everything, because by then like the YouTube tutorial videos were really popular, and like it was just like a common program to kind of honestly just like learn information off of. So it went really smooth in that aspect, as far as just like wanting to learn everything everything I wanted to learn was pretty readily available without having to go to school for it at that point. So, and that was probably like 2017 is when I got the computer. So it's been like since then I started mixing and mastering my own stuff. I learned how to do my own beats, and then kind of started moving towards the video stuff. Like really this past year and a half is when I really like took videos and like quote unquote seriously.
What was the style like starting out back before you even started engineering yourself? What was it like starting out there, Bozzy?
So bad, bro. It was not good, I'm telling you. It was a lot of godinstrumentals.com, a lot of just ripping beats off of places, because honestly type beats weren't even like really a thing. It was like yeah, like that was my shit. It was like godinstrumentals.com, and it was no real like aim at direction with things. It was kind of just like making songs, but it was good for what it was in the like long run, as far as just like in the gym shooting and just like building my process of learning how to like write things and figure out my style. But as far as like the music, it just was not it. But I appreciate it for what it is. It's like everyone's got to have some kind of starting point. So anybody that stuck with me from like then to now, I can genuinely appreciate too, because they've had to have believed in me. So yeah, now the style is way more evolved. It's more of an artistic, and like I have all these tools and I know how to like release it, and like I don't just like make songs just to like write verses and like do random things anymore. It's like each one's like a piece of like a creative process, and like almost like journaling for me in a sense now, because I'm touching every aspect of it from like the ground up. So it like it's just like essentially just like a piece of like my emotions in music form. So it's a lot more different than just like writing songs off like the internet that you ripped off, which is still good in its own right, but that's just like how my workflow is with it.
What was the motivation for picking up these other creative outlets to coincide with your music? Was there like a certain moment that you just said, hey, I have to do this?
Fuck, dude, that's a good question. It was never really I can't think of like a pivotal moment. It just was like second nature. I mean, just like being interested in things. And so I never really like And plus, I guess I just didn't want to like, if I don't just like asking people for things just in general. So it was like, if like I said, the information was pretty like there, and I was at a stage where I felt like I didn't want to like budget anything. So I just kind of took it upon myself to learn the whole process of things. And I, in a sense, I fell in love with that, of just like wanting to learn things too. Like, before work and shit, I'll just be waking up and watching seminars on fucking YouTube on just like mixing techniques and how to do all that stuff and run programs. And I just kind of fell in love with that routine and just learning things to where it like helped with my workflow too. Where now I don't watch them as much, just because that information has been soaked up now, and everything, like every so often things will come around, but for the most part it's like it helped just formulate just like my way of thinking and how I like perceive, and just like teaching me how to mix. Really, that was my biggest thing from it, was like the mixing aspect of it, because that's a huge thing on just being able to like make a song and like take it to the next level.
It benefits you definitely, because now you say you were in Truckee for up until high school. How long until you found your way to Reno, or what was the reason for kind of gravitating towards Reno and its music scene with your new set of skills you kind of taught yourself?
It's interesting because I really only like topped out here like a year ago, as far as just like the music scene, like give or take. It was like maybe last year September, maybe around then is when I started like actually staying out here. I mean, growing up super close, the scene was always like there, so I was kind of a little bit tapped in. But once I kind of found Stu was a huge outlet of how I got out here, and just like he was the first person, honestly, the artist I tapped into out here. My homie put me onto him really early on, and I watched the way he moved, and I was really impressed. So I eventually reached out, and then that boy's just known for not gatekeeping. I mean, you've seen it. I've watched your interviews with him. Well, he's goated. He doesn't hold any, like, if he likes you and he's willing to show you everything and like put you on and just like do the most for you. So I like for real take my hats off to that man, because he put me in a position to where like his vouch was like, you know, big. it was cool. So once I came out here, it was just like, and just like I think it was good like staying in the mountains and coming out here. Like I was just so sheltered, and it just like forced me to just like almost like stay in a recluded area to work. So it like made me like just practice, and I didn't realize by the time I got out here that like I was like, oh, like me just putting my head down and staying tucked away for a long time, and then coming in like kind of seeing how other people move out here, it kind of like made me realize where I sit on like quote unquote like the food chain, as far as just like the artists out here and like what they can provide and how they make music and all the things that they do. And it's been good because there's not as many people that do all aspects of their music out here, which is nice because it helps me pivot in different, I can bring value in different in all situations, as far as just like the artistry out here one way or another.
You find your way to Reno, you link up with Stu J. What was the strategy going into, you know, just kind of seeing what's up with the local scene and trying to figure out where you fit in?
Again, it wasn't much of a thought. It just organic, man. The Instagram, honestly, like was just like this power of social media and just not being scared to reach out to different people. Because again, like even if it was just like an artist wanting to come over, it's just like, bro, whatever you want to do. It's not just like come over and make a song. It's like if we just want to make beats, we want to fucking like. Now it's like shoot videos. The Bozzy cams I think was like a really good way to start too, because I kind of did those early on, and that was able to kind of like bring in. Working with the Castaways, even though they're from out there, they started coming out. We didn't link up until I moved out here. So like the Castaways, Trev Stone, Stu, Realize. There's a few other, like there's like a good list of Travis Wayne was another cool one, where it's like that was just on the fly. Like I just put that on my Instagram and he reached out, and like now like that's my dog. You know, just like random situations like that I think were like really cool to kind of help just like bring in like genuine connections with people. Yeah, but it was just the power of the internet and just putting out good music, you know, like that helps in its own return, which I think is important as hell, because when I dropped That Hurts, that just was like, I think like a lot of people reached out to me, which I like from this area, because it got the few reposts that it did from the local people, and it was just good enough content to where people wanted to do their homework a little bit or just pay attention. And I have to vouch that song honestly did like a lot for me, as far as just like putting a face out here that I'm out here in Reno. it's been great, man.
So you definitely mentioned videos being a big part of that contribution and a service you provide. Recently picked it up. What was the biggest notice, or what was the biggest lesson you learned or improvement you saw starting the videos now or back then compared to now?
Oh man, it's just the understanding of how cameras work, the editing process, the settings for it, like different lenses calling for different situations, you know, wide frame, setting up shots that are the lighting, just it's so different as opposed to just kind of like run and gun. Like I kind of like am way more articulated with my shots now, which is you know, I think that's like a big thing too, was just having a good like reference point of other people that just like have ideas too, you know what I'm saying? Like just like having the artists that like are able to bring good like concepts to the table that I'm able to deliver, which is a huge thing too. I think like that's a huge part of it.
All on me, I really need some indica to feel my needs. These rappers out here faking, that's all we see. They looking like replacements to Squad and G. Been at this shit for years, so we do it with ease. Showing love to peers while they jocking the steez. Shit about the drop, so haters get on your knees. This shit will never stop, they better get up to speed, yeah.